Okay, so hello and welcome to this, I guess, it's a little bit of a tutorial. And the reason I've decided to do this is because most people actually let it play now for a little bit, maybe on a little bit of a minus. The reason I've decided to do this is because most people are really terrible when it comes to dropping, and I think I'm relatively decent. I don't do any mistakes, and this was a great example of what I did to make a really effective drop against, as you can see, I'm versing Greenio. This was I guess, a bit of a friendly rematch after we played the under 1500s WPC knockout round, in which he beat me on this same map. I feel I got a little bit unlucky on that one, but whatever, he won. End result, doesn't matter what happens to the ACU. If he kills my ACU, I lose. Doesn't matter if I was winning in other aspects. So kudos to him. And what I'm gonna do now, well, I'm gonna do what I'm about to do is the typical Aeon thing. Not really too much of a rush. I was ecoing a little bit in the meantime. So it could have been done, as I've got a large land spam. I haven't really got too much intel about what's going on here, so like I can see, I'm assuming a little bit of a T2 push here. He has eco. I know his commander's there because like I'm not going to show you the whole game. There's a nice raider I put in the middle, so I can see he's sort of posed to maybe be a bit aggressive here. I've got enough units to defend here, and I redirect that. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is different. So like I'm thinking he's going to do a T2 push, so I need to make my T3 very effective. And what I'm doing now is I'm getting my transports. I usually try to make it a T2 drop, a T2 transport drop, because it is just so much more effective. Because I can get two hubs at once, and then they're so much faster. They're durable. I think T2 transports are as fast as Intis, so you have that. And then you always make another factory so it doesn't show up on radar as a trick. And I've got my first hubs getting up now. I do a scouting run here as a bit of a search and probe. This scout is very important. This scout is not just a scout to see, oh, what is he doing? It's a scout to see where I'm going to attack. So if I bump it up to maybe +0, like I see the scouting run, he's got T3, which was a bit of an issue. I know I managed to hit T3 earlier, so there was that. And I'm still scouting. I've scouted this whole area. I know his comms in the area over here. He's getting mexes here, so I didn't think he was that far behind. And that was part of my scouting run. I think I still should send a scout along this side just to see some potential targets for my drop. Right now, as you can see, I've got two transports getting ready. I don't know if this is my... Okay, no, that's my... Okay, so I'm dropping two hubs at once. And I've decided to go for it. Right now is where I've decided to go for it, so I'll put it like onto really minus 10 speed. This bomber is also part of my drop. And I guess my air support will also be part of my drop. I know his air force is around here. That does change, and I get a little bit lucky with the drop, I guess. But the point is to... Well, you'll see what unfolds. I do put this bomber back, and I guess I can explain it a little bit. I'll increase the speed. I'm not going to get the timing right, I guarantee you, but like I've decided to move these guys here, so I know I'm going to drop on this side, because I guess like dropping this side's risky. I haven't scouted it. Forgive me, my mass stall. It happens when you rush harbs because their build capacity is reduced to build the build requirement or whatever it's called. So I pulled the bomber back. What I did, I pulled the bomber back. I have decided to drop here. So in dropping here, my decision is to avoid his commander, because I'm dropping, I know his commander's here. My hubs are faster, so I can just sit here, drop here, and in here I know he's got T2 mexes sort of plans to go in this area, so if I disrupt this area, avoid his commander, obviously I don't want to go too close to his commander, then I hurt him a lot. The point in dropping here is to get as close to the base as possible and maybe inflict as much damage. So I do believe I drag it out to here, and then from here to the base for Harbs, it's literally, it's cakewalk. I hit this power, I hit this power grid, I destroy the build's power on the T3, and it's that's the whole plan. If not, if the main problem I have with this tactic right now, if he has, it depends what he's building from here and where his units are going. If his units here are already sent, which a good player does, which I sort of assumed, like I know Greenio, he's not a bad player, then I know that he's going to do something with them and he wants to make them as effective as possible. Maybe he's doing the same thing as me with drops, which I'm ill-equipped to defend against drops. I don't have much forward radar. This is a great radar, but you don't drop through the middle, so yeah, I would radars here and here if I would be trying to defend from a drop, which he has more units, so it's much harder for me to defend from a drop than him, I guess. But it depends what he's building from this factory. If he has 2 bricks lying around here, then this drop is completely pointless. Like, I can maybe try and really fast ignore the bricks, maybe kite them. If I'm up against 1 brick, I'm fine. If I'm up against 2 or more bricks, this drop will be a mass donation for him. So there is that to consider, and I do send out another run before, and also I don't know if I'm going to verify this. I did pull this bomber back, and it's here to take out this radar. If I go to his point of view, he sees what he thinks is a couple of little bit of an air force. Who knows what it is? It's actually very nicely concealed. Okay, that didn't work as much as I expected. I expected it. I didn't see that the next radar, or did I? I'm not sure. But the plan with the bomber is to take out the radar, so he can't see my inties flying in. Well, okay, if we're in his view, we might as well analyze the potential brick situation. He didn't go for bricks, he went for loyalists, which is sort of a thing now. I don't think it's as effective. It's definitely not effective on this map, because it's got 1, 2, we counted 5 chokes on this. Because you can push units up here and here, or here and here. No, it was this was the 5th choke. So block here, here, because this axis is just 1, that doesn't count. And then he can run units from here to here, which is actually, like, it's a very nice avenue to attack. But I do have mid with the PD, so I'm not too experienced into seeing how good loyalists fare. But still, he's going loyalists. I still don't know that. So we'll go to my view. I did take out the radar. I was trying to be as effective as possible. I was so frightened here, but apparently he didn't notice this. And the whole point of a T3 drop that is so dangerous is, like, the transfers themselves, once they blow up, I usually drag them back, but it doesn't matter. I can see he's got loyalists on the field, so I see that one. Let's maybe see... Nope, still not doing that. Because there's essentially the phase 2 of this whole drop. So phase 1 was the initial scout. Phase 2 was maybe taking out a lot of radar while you're dropping, and you drop it on the heels of that taking out the radar, which, like, this radar was under shield, so, and it's a T2 radar as well, so that's a really nice radar for him to have, and to protect. Obviously you want to put a T2 radar under a T2 shield, so that didn't work out completely, but if you integrate that into your drops, they become hugely effective because they can't see them. If you can, like, hitting a drop in the air, it would be GG for me, because I lost, like, I've got T3 units heading my way. I've got a couple in base. I've got I could maybe defend this side, my ACU is on this side, but this is really hard to stop with my units. I don't think I have T2. I'm starting to focus T2 mexes on this side, so this is a really painful loss for me. Like, I could defend with my commander, maybe pull in here and then try and overcharge, but he can just kite with this. These are extremely fast units. So, well, anyway, we'll see how quickly I react and to the final element of the drop. So I guess the 4th element, I think it was. So scout, snipe radar, drop, and then there is another element. Like right now, what I'm doing, I could hit here right now, but I'm aiming for this location because I know his ACU's here. I know he can attack me. I don't know exactly where it is. So the safer bet for me is to run to this location, where I guess he has more time to react, but at the same time, we have. Well, we're away from the ACU, and I buy time for my scouts. That is the fifth element. Like, you can spam or not. Like, I guess he's doing a similar thing. This slipped past my army, so that was also very dangerous. Although it wasn't as effective, but he did take out my upgrading max, but that was annoying. But point of the video is this drop. Which I've got another one ready here. Okay, and the fourth element are these scouts. These scouts are not where to drop scouts. These scouts are where to attack scouts. So with these scouts, like you can afford to. That's actually something I learned in a Zoc lesson. That would be very effective because I used to drop harbs in blind and then sort of scout. You can see the range. It would be nice if they had radar, and even better if they have vision, to see what type of units they're about to attack, and if they can attack this position. Because right now I can't, but this timing right here is quite good. If he has bricks, I can run away. If he has loyalists, I can kill them. So good. The only thing that can stop me is if he has bricks, and if he has bricks, I can run away. If he has bricks, I can run away. Probably hit these outside mexes. Cut the commander a little bit. It might be tough, especially with all the attacking going on my side of the front. I can push this way with these two hubs, so this, I know this front is safe. But I have a problem with my right side. It's not totally collapsing because the commander's here. If the commander wasn't here, this would be... it's not bad actually, but there's 3 loyalists here. It really depends what he's going to do, because he could just go boom this way, which would be a really nice move if Greenio attacks this way. He sends this as a diversion force, which I would take the bait on. Like, I guess I could move the commander, except the commander pushing in like that is... Like, I'm doing a game, I need a lot of micro, so if there's something there, especially with Cybran, like stealth, and I don't see something, then putting the commander there is a little bit risky. It's not too risky because there probably isn't. And then, but still, with this all diverged here, 3 loyalists can punch through that extremely easy. But yeah, back to the drop itself. We're seeing this. We're seeing a loyalist leaving a base. That's the first thing I see. And that's a great thing to observe. I've also got another drop coming in this way, also on a blind territory, but because these commanders here, because the loyalists are over here, some loyalists are going over there, but one harb dropping here, taking out all these mexes, which is possible because you usually have your army in this location. I'm dropping about here. Yeah, I'm going around the mountain, dropping here. And I've even got scouts queued up to go in that location. Scouts queued up in this location, so that's like my whole scout queue, and that's the queue from the factory, I believe. Yeah, that's the queue from the factory. I've got scouts on infinite loop, which you don't want to do. Like, if you remember that, then if you forget about that, then you might be in a bit of a pickle. But if you remember to turn it off after a while, because they're only useful when you're going to make a very effective attack, then that's the deal. Okay. That's what I see. He's got his air here, so like scouts are not too overly expensive, but I do start to split them up so I can see what's going on the map. But this is what I see. This is most important. Like, I got some things on radar that I can't really see, but things are not shooting at me. He's got his air. He can see my scouts, so units will be able to target me. They're not shooting at me. So I'm running in. My first target of priority is this power grid. I sort of run to go in under the shield, maybe a little bit of a mistake. Oh no, now that was a good move. It was his power stall rather than my punch of the shields. So I noticed he was power stalling. He's got a loyalist over here, and I took out his power. That was literally took me a couple of seconds. Like he was power stalling, so normally you don't power stall. And it was very unfortunate that he was power stalling while I was attacking his power, so his shield didn't support it. But that just really hit him, and now I've got, I guess, two choices. I go after the build capacity around this T3 HQ, or maybe take out this T3 HQ. That might be a third choice, or which is the choice I kind of go for, is what I do. I notice I took out his power. If someone's in a power stall, you hurt them really bad. If someone's like, the point is you try and hit whatever your opponent is on, has the least of. So like he has T2 maxes around. If he destroys my Harbs, he's going to have a bit of reclaim out of that. And T3 is on the field, so it's going to be very dynamic. A lot of things are going to change. So the way to hurt him the most is to either take out his build capacity or take out his P-gens, because it's very hard to recover from a P-gen loss, because you just won't be able to produce. As long as I still have power, reclaim will come and go. There's going to be a lot of fighting coming in now. You're not going to be able to recover from power. So yeah, we'll just continue seeing that. I'm dropping here, and yeah, Greeno didn't even see this. This drop was that's the power of a T3 drop. Like, it's the Harb as well, but any race can do this. You can drop a brick. Bricks are not as fast, so they're not as flexible. But I once played against Greeno as well, where I dropped in bricks. Very similar situation to this, scouting all over that. And it worked. It's a small, very effective unit. It's a unit that is very small. It's very difficult to see. If you have an army coming to attack you, you will see it. There's no way you're going to miss that. If you see one little air blip, which you can sort of sometimes tell it's a transport, but like at first glance it's one air blip. And especially if it's just one air blip carrying one Harb, that's even harder to spot. I guess that's one merit of a T1 transport over a T2 transport, because a T2 transport is harder to spot on radar, is easier to spot on radar, and a T1's harder. So there's that to consider. I actually never thought of that before. I forgot what I was getting at here, so I'm just gonna continue going on. And I'm hitting his power now. And well, there's nothing that really I can do. If okay, maybe a different observation. If I hit his build capacity, my Harbs are going to stay alive for longer, and they're going to be able to do more things. He's still building loyalists out of that. I do pay attention to that, definitely. This Harb dropped here. It's not going to be nearly as dangerous as these two Harbs, because of the elements that this game is at. And I'm on 8 Harbs. I do believe I just won an engagement. Yeah, if I've got more Harbs than he has loyalists, you know, things are going my way, and that's the result of my drop. Is at minus 810 and falling. Like this loyalist, or these two loyalists, when they come out, that's his only way of defending against these two Harbs, and my two Harbs are going to be able to kill them. And his whole base is falling. The power, that's actually quite a lot of power. I wonder if he's going to get all that. Okay, so he's building. Well, he has to build that. And also, something I probably should have capitalized on, when I'm in a situation like this, I can safely assume he's power stalling as hell. I can drop everywhere because of his power stall, he can't see. So I probably should have taken advantage of that. Like right now, I'm a little bit scared of his loyalist army, because they haven't really engaged. I've had a little bit of a loyalist engagement over here, but there's still a bit of loyalists on the field. So that's why I'm hesitant to throw all my Harbs into drops, because if all my Harbs are on his side of the map, all his loyalists are on my side of the map, I'm going to get hurt as well. I don't want to get hurt. Right now I'm in a very comfortable position. I want to play it a little bit safer, so I could drop a few guys into transports. That's why I guess this drop was effective as well. Now I'm scouting right before. I think that was just coincidence. I'm not sure if I timed that, but this scout coming here just as soon as it's dropped is perfect. I'm getting, this is my fourth element of the drop, right after my hub has landed, or right after my hub is attacked, and I can see what I'm going to attack. I can see that this is well within the capabilities of a Harbinger, and yeah, and right now I'm focusing on his T3. If I take out his T3, he's got nothing else. He hasn't got T2 air, so that's something to consider. Maybe a T2 air would be something to counter this harp drop, because obviously I can't take out that. Although, looking at INT numbers, I have air superiority, and I planned for air superiority from the start. I built three air factories from the start, something you didn't see, and then this one was the drop factory, which I plan to go to T2, but it's to make you build T1 just to make it faster. I don't know, I don't think I targeted anything. And that was the control K from Greenio. He knew that there was no way to recover from this. I would be playing it safe. He knows I'm a player that plays, if I'm winning, I don't take risks. So, yeah, that's the game as it was right there. The score right before the drop may have been a little bit in my favor. And that's the end of the game. So that's a tutorial, a little bit of analysis over this whole game, and I guess a tutorial as to how to drop. So next time you do drop, remember, I guess, those elements. I don't know if like the tutorial of how to drop, but the way I drop. So you have the preliminary scouting, the intel sniping, the drop itself, and then the pre-attack scouts, so you can see whether these harbs are going to be able to attack in a position. Because really, like, if I'm hesitant to attack him over here, he's got time to regroup. Granted, he wasn't paying attention as much, so maybe he could have pushed me off, but I could take out one brick. And if I don't have visual, I'm always hesitant to attack, because like the way I play, I tend to sort of fall back a little bit and then attack, so to sort of draw the opponent in and completely trap him in the area, so I get that reclaim, and so that it's like a fake withdrawal, as it were, because you know that they don't have visual. And attacking like this is you're attacking blind, essentially. Defending is much easier than attacking, because if you're defending, most of the time you've got visual, except for the initial stages. Most of the time you've got visual of what's coming. My radars probably should be further up. That is an anti-drop radar. Well, I guess it's a support radar, because you can also, there's a tactic to creep radar while you're attacking, which is super useful for Aeon as well. But yeah, I guess that's how to drop transports, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it, and yeah, I'm not going to show and give lessons or tutorials and give out all of Zock's advice, because like, I guess the final element of the drop was the Zock's idea that I adopted, and it really changed the way I play. The final scouts are, I guess you can skip the whole intel sniping if you manage to drop the transports. You can win air instead of intel snipe, so that you can't counter the drops. Different variations on it. I've actually had that done against me. They managed to win air against me, so I couldn't snipe the transport drops, which I was looking for. Like, I was setting up radar positions. You can prepare against a drop. You can search for a drop, just spam a lot more radars on the outsides, so you can have time to intercept them. But then he just won air on that, so I couldn't do anything. I saw the drop, I just couldn't do anything about it. I guess that's a modification you could use. I don't know, I thought this was just a nice example of how I dropped. So thanks again for watching.